What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Beards and Gears, and today I'm getting my coilovers done. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna jack up the E30. I'm gonna disassemble the entire front suspension, toss them in my car. I'm gonna hit up Kevin. We're gonna head over to his shop, and we're going to just drop everything off where he's gonna cut and weld my coilovers on. I'm finally gonna have a real set of coilovers, not what I have in right now, which are Racelands. If you've been keeping up with the vlog, you'd notice that I've been spinning out a lot on track. If you remember, Dale drove my car and he told me the biggest thing that's kind of getting me is the body roll, and he said definitely getting those coilovers installed is going to make a significant improvement on that, so the car will be much more stiffer. So let's get started. You guys already know how to jack up a car, so 1, 2, 3. So jacked up. Now we're gonna take off the front tires and I'll show you what to do from there. All right, so now I have to take off the tie rod, the ball joint for the lower control arm, the caliper, and then I'm gonna unbolt these 3 bolts on both sides, and we're good to go. So 1, 2, that is a record for me. I disassembled the entire front suspension, everything. Took off the rotor on both sides in 1 hour. I'd call that a success. And I'd like to thank one tool that I knew was useful, but I was always too lazy to buy. This right here. This took off the tie rods and the control arm so fast. I couldn't believe it. Like 2 ugga-duggas, 3 ugga-duggas, and the thing comes right off. So, all right guys, it is the next day. I'm about to head over to Kevin's. Got about an hour drive to get there. Get my coilovers welded on finally. I'm pretty excited about that. Let's just keep going, bro. Let's just do this. All right, so we just showed up to Kevin's shop. Or at least the shop he works at. And if you didn't know, Kevin does have their own E30. Kevin was busy, couldn't really talk to him, but talked to him for a little bit, but my camera's in the car because I had to carry these. So now that my welded knuckles are here, it's time for me to go back home. And next thing I'm gonna do is install these and install the rear suspension. So I don't look hyped, I am hyped. I'm finally gonna have a real set of coilovers, so it's about damn time. So when you see me next time, we're gonna do a little snap of the fingers and the coilovers are gonna be on. So until then, I will see you. For you, it's gonna be a split second. All right, everybody, so I've already kind of gotten started, but the process is pretty straightforward to assemble these. Install the top mount, tighten this bolt up, and you just kind of screw this. This is what's gonna adjust your ride height. This is gonna adjust the tension on the shock, the preload, and I'm going to show you, because this preload is all jacked up, I'm going to show you how to set the preload on it per ISC specifications. It's super simple, it's super easy. If you messed up, it's not the end of the world. I'll show you how in a few seconds. I'm going to grab a 5mm head like this, and you're going to want one of these from Harbor Freight, these through socket set. These run you like 20 bucks, and they're the best 20 bucks you'll ever spend in your life. So the whole point of this is preventing this shock over here from spinning. The smaller ratchet in the opposite direction of this ratchet so that it doesn't spin. Just like that, I'm able to tighten up poly lock nut. I've got it nice and tight. Now, as you can see, my entire spring is loose. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna tighten this up until it's nice and tight up against it. So now there's no play. I'm gonna bring the bottom collar up over here. Then I'm going to tighten this 5mm, which is about the width of the tool itself. You see, they made it easy. Now that I've got this 5mm gap over here, as you can see, got this 5mm gap, lock it in place, and I'm done. All right, so next we're gonna do something that a lot of people don't like, anti-seize. So you can see I barely have like anything on here at all. Like, this isn't a lot. I'm just gonna go in here and just, you know, wipe it, wipe it, wipe it. Just, you know, get a decent amount. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to be liberal with it. You just have to make sure it's there. And that's it, that's that with the anti-seize. Okay, so now ride height. I have no idea how to go about this, but this is my logic behind it. I've measured from here to here, bottom of this to the bottom of this, and measured it at about 8 1/4 inches. So I'm going to lower this maybe 4 inches, and we're gonna see how the car looks. It might be slammed, it might look like a dump truck. Mind you, I don't know what I'm doing, but I need a baseline measurement so I can get at least the front 2 corners the same height, and then go from there. So I got this measurement from here to here, as you can see. Got about 5 1/4, bottom to the bottom over here. And as you can see, I put a little bit of anti-seize on that collar over here, tightened it up real nice because I don't want to deal with any sort of rust issues. So you guys get the gist of this. New coilovers. All right, so night has fallen, but I have finished installing everything, tightened everything up, buttoned it up. This is it for today. I'm gonna continue tomorrow. Another point I'd like to make is ISC puts this little hole, and most suspension coilover companies do, in the actual bottom of the shock. The reason why they do that is when you're threading in or threading out, depending on whether you want it lower or higher, the threads should be visible through this little window. If the threads aren't visible, you're being unsafe. All right, so now we're gonna jack it up. And I'm gonna measure the spring to 4 5/16. This is a 115 millimeter spring, so I'm gonna compress it to about 110. I approximated that to 4 5/16 inches. Should be fine. So that right there is about 4 5/16. So now I'm going to wind the bottom of the shock down until it hits, I can get the bolt in the back of the hole, and then I'm going to lock it up here with the lock nut. All right, so now we're gonna reassemble everything, throw the tires back on, and lower the car. So 1, 2, 3. I think this is gonna be slammed to the ground. I honestly do. I think it's gonna be really low. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower the car and allow the springs to settle. Despite what anybody says, springs settle. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think. I've been taught in physics class that springs settle. So the springs are gonna settle. So I'm gonna let them settle. So you need to relax, take a deep breath, and let me do my thing for once, all right? All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're going to measure ride height. So my front is at 24 3/16 on each side. The passenger side rear is 1 inch higher than the driver's side rear. I don't know whether to go up or down. I'm gonna go down a little bit and see what happens. All right, so I just readjusted the passenger side. I got 22.5, one tick below half on the passenger side, and 22 5, a little below 5/8 on the passenger side. And just to give you an idea of what that looks like on a ruler, that's 22.5, and then 5/8 is right there. So it's a difference of just about 4/16 of an inch. Is that gonna make a difference? It doesn't look different. I don't think it's gonna perform different, especially since I set the preload the same way that I set it before. Really, it's not rocket science, people, so. All right, so now I'm gonna take it on the test drive. These are 32-way adjustable coilovers. I have them on the factory settings, which is 16. So dead in the center, and at 16, like when I used to kind of get in the car and shake like this, you'd feel the car rock before, and now it's solid, dude. So I'm gonna see how it feels. Most likely for drifting, I'm gonna go with a different kind of setup in terms of the front and rear bias on the stiffness and the softness. Initial thoughts. We're gonna go on initial thoughts right now. Just coming out of the driveway, so much stiffer. So much stiffer. My God, this ride is stiff. Now I did opt for their like track kind of oriented coilovers. I definitely need a wheel on it. But damn, talk about stiff, dude. My battery's about to die. All right, so I'm gonna make this quick. Stiffer, more responsive, and not stiff as in uncomfortable. It is kind of uncomfortable. I mean, like, the ride's a lot more bumpy, but I'm sure if I just adjust the softness of the ride, that would help a lot. But other than that, like, the ride is great, dude. Like, it really is. Like, there's barely any body roll anymore, whereas I had a big body roll issue before. So I'm gonna take this somewhere in Mexico, and we're gonna drift it and see how it acts. Talk about a night and day difference, bro. Did a few donuts in Mexico, and the weight transfer is just insane. No clutch kicking, and it stayed flat. Like, no clutch kicking, just on throttle, and it literally stayed flat. Like, there was no body roll. This is going to change the way I drift now. Like, I can finally control the car. The car is not controlling me. It's not as unpredictable as before. It's not even unpredictable. Well worth the investment, well worth the time, well worth the energy and the sweat and the cut fingers. I can't wait to take this to the next track event. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell your mom, tell the president, tell the governor, tell your king, tell your queen to watch this video. Like, subscribe, share. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in for more episodes of Beards and Gears. I love you. Take care of yourself and have a nice day.